Well, hey, Nick Collier here. We've got this whole side is done. We did that yesterday afternoon, and we're going to come back in on this side. And yes, I could move this all the way over and shift everything around, but it would be so much easier just to loosen this up, spin it around at 90 degrees, reset it up square, and relock it down, and just start whacking away at it. You know, it took me, oh God, I don't know how much it took me yesterday, an hour or 2 hours to level this side out. So probably we're counting on another hour or 2 hours to do this other side. Once we get that done, we've got a couple other little things to do to this part, and we're done. Not done with the whole project, but done with this piece. And then we got a couple other things to do. There's always a couple other things, you know. But at some point or another, it's going to be done. And fairly soon, I'm thinking. So, stick with me. We're going to grind away at this. And, we'll fast forward it to give you a break. I'm the only one that has to sit here hour after hour listening to this thing grind away. You get to do it in about, 30 seconds. So we'll be back. Okay, we're all done with that part. Now what we need to do is flip this over and work on the holes themselves. So we will do that in a minute. Well, good morning. Nick Collier here. It's a Monday morning, and it turns out that this last weekend I took the weekend off. I didn't go anywhere. I just kind of dinked around the property, and I did go somewhere. I went and cut up that walnut that you're going to see the video of. You've probably already seen the video of, and because this video is going to happen probably a month or so from now. I've gotten such a backlog in videos. So today, what we have to do, and I'm going to bring you in a little closer. Now it turns out that these holes are not big enough, because once the threading goes down into the actual ram itself, it can't reach. So I have to make these holes much bigger. So, and also while I'm doing that, and a couple of videos back, I made these little aluminum rings for the inside of the to adjust the height of the ram so that it would fit in the holes. Well, I can get rid of that now because I'm going to make a much bigger hole. I can find center, and then just go 80 thousandths up and cut my new hole 80 thousandths askew of center. So I think I'm going to do that. Let's back up a little bit, and you will see that my mill is set up to do this flat here, which is we've already done and we're complete. Now we're going to take the 90 degree cutting head off and reset up to drill, or actually mill, these two holes first, and then we'll kick the head sideways. Well, actually, it would be sideways like that, and then drill these two holes, this one on this side and the one on the other side. And then I believe that we'll have this part of the project complete. Well, a little bit of sanding and some rough edges and stuff like that. So let's get started. Okay, we drilled our first hole and came out just fine, and then I moved my table over that way to set up the second hole, and I found out that, of course, I'm going to bottom out on that end, so I had to move everything down So I think what I'm going to do, just to make it easier on myself, is I'm going to coax indicate each one of these holes, come back in with the tool bit, cut the hole, and not have to worry about trying to keep everything square, because I think I'm going to have to move this around a bit, especially since I'm going to end up kicking this head out and it's going to be someplace over there. So we're going to coax this, this second hole here, and it looks like we're pretty close there. Let's go ahead and spin it and see. I love this coax indicator. I mean, you just have to kind of roll it around until the... Oops, that went a little too far. You just keep moving it back and forth until the thing fits. There we go. Almost there. There we go. So about a quarter thou right there. I like that. We'll set our DRO to 0. Okay. Bring that down. Will it go all the way? I think it's gonna. Yippee. Oh, add 80 thousandths. 70, 80. Get all the gives tight. Yes. We can spin this up a little faster. And just kick it into here and it should just take right off. Okay, that's pretty good. Somehow the DRO or the whole table moved over 20,000, so I got a little extra rib in there. But I think we're going to be fine. Now what we want to do is kick this head over to 45 degrees. But I noticed that the head is out of it's off angle this direction. Can you see that? Oh, let's make sure you can see that. No, you can't see it. Let's get up a little higher here. The head, the entire head, it has rotated. I've rotated it across, and we're probably sitting at about 15 degrees that direction. So what I want to do is bring it back to 0 and then rotate this head to 45. So that's pretty easy. Not too big a deal. Bring it back to 0. Where's our 0 mark? There it is. Okay, now let's rotate the head. And for now, let's go the other direction. Yep, the other direction. Pull it in there. And we're just going to slide it in backwards. Not going to pull down hard on it because we mess up the inside of the collet, but just barely snug it down. bring it down to where we think we want to go. That should do well. Bring it back toward me a little bit. Oh, hey, let's get you in on this. All right, so it's still a little bit off. We're a little off this way, and we're a little off the other way, so we want to kind of travel back toward me a little. There we are, almost there. Again, back toward me. I would think that's it, but almost ready to go in. Where are we missing? Okay, a little bit further forward. I mean, I would say that would be it. Now, why is it not going in? There it goes. All right, we're on. Now let's set our DRO. Plenty of room. Now we're going to go that way, 80 thousandths. So we're going to want to bring the table back this way. So I think we're going to come back. Yes, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 77, 78, 80. All right, I think we're ready to go. Okay, instead of flipping this head around and doing all that, we're just going to swing this around and catch that next hole. Make it a lot easier. Let's back you up just a little bit. We're still in line there. Yes. Loosen our gibs, move everything back where we can get to it. One more time, put our bit in backwards. Slide it in place just so. Snug it down, I mean just ever so slightly. And I think this time we want to come in just a little bit closer. How can we do that? We go up. Because I just about ran out of room the last time. Okay. And that means we would have to come this way a little bit. And this way. There it is. On the money. Okay, and that zeroes out. And then we move 80 thousandths the other direction. $30, $40, $50, $60, $70, $80. Tighten our gibs. $80. We got everybody snug. And I think we're ready to rock and roll. Let's just test our hole, make sure. It looks off. right, let's not trust that hole. That looks better. I'll probably regret this, but we're going to go for it. Okay, since, well, for one, we don't have a countersink big enough to countersink these holes, so I'm forced to come in with a flat file. I need to flat file off of these raw edges here and a couple back over in here, and then come in with a round file and file out the holes in here. So we're just going to kind of start filing. Mainly what we're doing here, just so nobody catches their finger on it and cuts themselves. And also, he wants me to paint this, so once I paint it, if it's got a sharp edge on it, it's not gonna, the paint's gonna chip off pretty quickly. So let's just go ahead and swing this up, and you can see the raw edge right there. I mean, it'll pop right off, but there will be there we go. And then I like to do 45 and then also come in at about a 22 and a 22 up here, and that kind of rounds it over a little bit and makes it more user friendly, you might say. Okay, so we've got a last couple of moves on this, and one of them is to take these 9-inch bolts, and we're going to run them right down through the center of this, down through the center of this piece of steel, down into this piece of aluminum, and thread the aluminum to fit it. So what we have to do is figure out where our center is going to be and where we're going to land these things. And our thinnest point is right here. So we want to go right down the center of that. So I'm thinking the best thing to do is to measure that. And we are looking at and let's see if both sides are the same. They're pretty close. That one's a little thicker, so we'll go with the thinner dimension. and we're sitting at 1 inch 110 thousandths. So if we did 1/2 inch and 50 thousandths, or actually 55 thousandths, we would be right dead center. Let's get a little Dicament on this. And put some up here. We'll give that a few minutes to dry up, and we'll be back. Okay, our Dicament is set. We've come in and we've scratched a line halfway, and now we're going to come back and transfer that line right up to the top. Except it looks like I'm going to need a little flashlight. All right, come in closer. Someplace right about there. All right. Now we come in and scribe our line from here over, and let's see if we can get a line going. That looks pretty good. No, a little over, just a little bit too far. Let's restain this. And while that's setting up, we'll do the other side. There's our line. There's our cross line. And we're all kind of balanced out right here, so that's no problem. So all we really have to do is measure between here and divide that into 2 and come up with something. Let's see what we can come up with. We have got, I mean, we're so close to 3 inches I can't see straight. So inch, or would it be a 1/2 inch in? Let's try 3/4 just for fun. That could be okay. I'd say I want to spread it just a little bit more, so let's take it to 600. I think that's the better size. $600, $600. Yeah, that looks good. Now let's put a head in there and make sure we've got plenty of room. No problem. And before we go any further, let's get a center punch in there. All right, we're going for another line someplace right in there. That's pretty good. Let's just take our 600. 600, 600. Piece of cake. All right, that looks pretty good. Now, the thing is that this whole thing needs to be locked together as one unit in order to get the hole to go all the way through without any trouble. So I think what I might do, and I believe I can get this high on the, yeah, that shouldn't be a problem, up on the knee of the Bridgeport. So I'm going to take this bottom plate off, and we're going to put this all up on the Bridgeport. We're going to lock all of this stuff in total position, and then come in and drill a single straight hole all the way through. All right, so we're set up. We're talking about an hour set up here just to get this thing all accurate, so that when this hole goes straight down, it goes straight down. First I had to tram everything because everything was out of whack, and then we had to bring this in and measure each one of these to get it so that the cable goes right down dead center on all of them, and then clamp them and set it up. Now the problem is notice this drill. It's a nice long drill. It's a good, it's accurate spinning. I'd say within a couple of thousandths. Let's get it spinning the right direction. Now the problem is that this will drill through that top block. It'll drill halfway down into that second block, which will give me the index that I want to continue drilling the second block. And that's where it stops. So, you know, how do you get a hole all the way through? So I thought what I'd do is I'd go ahead and drill each hole and then mark it on the DRO where each hole is when I drill it. And then I get down to here. I can just take this off and drill it with a drill press through this one, and then come back with the DRO and reset my holes and bring up the knee, and of course, and then just drill through each one of these 4 holes in the aluminum, and then drill it to size and thread the aluminum and drill these to oversize. And I think we're working with 1/2-inch steel here, so, or 1/2-inch bolt. So we will do that, and we're going to be back in a couple of minutes, or maybe tomorrow, depends on what time it is.